What's up? We're back here in the shop working on the Firebird again. It's been a while since the last update, but if you look around, I got all the parts sanded finally. Most of this I did in the sandblaster because it turned out a lot of it was metal. You can see the fiberglass parts for the spoiler. I didn't get all the way down to the gel coat, but I got through all the soft flaky paint, so I think that'll be fine. Here's the rest of that. The same thing, I mostly got down to the gel coat. I didn't really want to go through it. So that's ready to primer. And the last thing was this bumper. And this thing was terrible to sand. It's a rubber bumper. It's like some kind of foam rubber. And it moves back and forth when you sand it. So it's kind of counteracting you sanding the whole time. But I finally got that completely sanded. A lot of this just had to do by hand because, you know, it's got this, you see this profile. So I can't put like my DA on it and kind of knock it down. Have to kind of go over it by hand with some blocks and stuff. You can see it's got little micro cracks in here. And unfortunately, that's gonna come through the paint. Here's the other bumper that I primered a long time ago, and you can see it came through. I don't really think there's much I can do about that. I'm just gonna have to primer it, and it's just gonna be there. But that's stripped down and ready to go. So I'm gonna use some epoxy primer. See if I have it over here and all my random paint stuff. Yeah, right there. I've been using that stuff. I get it off of eBay. It's actually really good. Dries super strong. So I have to get that. I'm gonna put it on the Harbor Freight shaker over here. Get it mixed up real good. And I'm gonna put 2 coats on all these parts. So I need to clean up in here a little bit and hang these parts up. Got this Harbor Freight tent in here. I hang them up from this metal brace. You can see some of these over here. Just kind of hang the parts up there, clean them off real good. I'm going to hit them with some lacquer thinner, and then I've got some grease remover, paint prep I'll go over them with, and then we'll be ready to spray them. Here's my Harbor Freight paint shaker. And, I like this thing a lot. It's definitely beats stirring by hand. When I first got it, it worked one time, I think, and then it locked up. So I started looking on the internet, and it's just people complaining about how it's a piece of junk and it locks up. And I decided to take it apart, and apparently it just has no grease in it whenever you get it. It has a little grease. I think it has one grease fitting in it. You have to grease it every now and then. It's in that hole maybe. And I put some in it when I got it because the instructions said to, but I guess it just had none in it, so it really needs a lot that first time. So if you get one of those, just grease it up real good. And hadn't had any issues since then. It has this little oiler thing built into it. Definitely don't have oil in I don't have an oiler system because I paint. You don't want to get oil in anything, but it works really good. It's got this little valve. So I'm gonna let that go for a while. It's been sitting. I'm using this T-Rex DTM primer sealer. It's an epoxy. It dries real hard. I think it's good stuff. It says it's sandable. I haven't tried that. I normally spray it and then spray high build over it. But for this run, I'm just gonna spray it on there and then try to wet sand it and paint it after. So I cleaned all the parts with lacquer thinner, and then I went over it with this grease and wax remover. I'm just waiting for that to dry. And the respirator. This is just a Husky sprayer. It's like a Lowe's brand or Home Depot or something. I use this for primer. I've got a nicer sprayer I use when I paint. And I just have one of these Harbor Freight filters I stick on there to keep the water out. Setup works pretty good for me. So here's how I have everything set up in here. I'll get back where you can see. So this is like my Harbor Freight tent. Just use it for small parts. So I've got the spoiler over here. That's tail lights and the hood grill, the bumper, and I got all the other parts hanging up here. And this piece of angle iron. So I'm gonna mix this paint up and then we'll start primering. Alright, I just got my guns cleaned up. Let's walk in here and see what we have. So I tried to film a little bit, but it was pretty difficult holding the camera and spraying. I was just spraying bad and doing a bad job as a camera, so I figured it'd be best for both of us just to skip that. But yeah, it sprayed down fine. It's a little rough, but it is epoxy. I put like 3 coats on it, so I wanted to make sure I had enough where I could wet sand it down. So if not, if I can't get it smooth or it's too hard to sand, then I'll have to, you know, go over it with some high build primer and sand it. But hopefully we'll just be able to go straight from this to paint, and that'll be nice. I think I got coverage good. I made sure and got down on the bottom of everything. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this part of the Firebird. So next time hopefully we'll be painting. We've got a lot of wet sanding to do. I'll probably spare you of that. But when I paint, I'm pretty much going to use this whole shop as a paint booth. So I'm going to get this tent out of here and I'll set up the tripod so you can actually see me paint if you want to. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty impossible to hold the camera and spray at the same time. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I think this is part 3 of the Firebird. We've got at least one more part we'll be painting, and then probably get one where we put it together and drive it. So anyways, see you around. See you next time.